Episode 5 of Starship Prodigy is here, and sadly for the time being it's our last one while the series takes a small hiatus until January 2022. Either way though, we're super excited to explore where this episode takes us. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack, and let's get right into it. Episode 5 of Starship Prodigy, titled Terra Firma, which is a fascinating title because we've also had Terra Firma in Enterprise, but this episode is a play on words, with terror instead of meaning horror, fitting for an alien planet that wants to eat all of our crew. The episode was written by Julie and Shauna Benson, and directed by Olga Ulmanov. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. Okay, let's go. This was a really strong episode, and for those who don't know, was the end of the first batch of Prodigy episodes. Starship Prodigy has started really strong, and even though I'm sad we won't get any more for a while, I think this break narratively works. This episode very much felt like the end of Act 1, setting up our characters, our stakes, and resolving this world that has been created, for the moment, with the Diviner chasing after our fugitive crew. Like how we ended last episode, we start this episode on the M-class planet in the Holo-Janeway system, and this idea of a living planet that tries to trap its prey on a planet has been used before in a sense in Star Trek, as we said in the last review, but I found this episode it was used even greater. When our crews seek refuge in a Klingon bird of prey, and yes creatives, we still need to know why there are so many Alpha Quadrant and Beta Quadrant species in here, they talk about their experiences on the planet, and we get some very heartfelt moments. Jankom is reminded of home and how much he misses it from a Tellurite sleeper ship, particularly he desired the stew. Rok-Tok, who is keen to pull on our heartstrings, desired the animals to like her, because usually her tough exterior keeps animals away. Dal wants to see his family, but having no idea what they look like, and Gwyn just wants some affection from her own father. This was really well done, and the character moments here, but also the bonding moment between Gwyn and Dal was so exquisitely done, sort of about them looking at the stars and talking about what they want. Gwyn really needs some redeeming in order to be part of this crew, from assisting in the enslavement of so many, and I think this episode really nailed it retrospectively. Having a Diviner choose to take control of a Protostar over saving his own daughter was really well done, and actually had me fooled thinking he was going to get on the ship, before it was revealed it was actually the planet manifesting his desire. The moment of Janeway standing on the Protostar ramp as the Diviner was apparently walking up it was interesting. While yes, this was the planet playing tricks and therefore the two characters did not actually see each other, part of me thinks that the Diviner might know who Janeway is, and his reaction would have said it all. Whether this is a plot point or just some happy thinking is currently unknown and we'll have to wait and see. During our crew's trip towards a Protostar, the planet was shifting its geography, which is really cool, and gives me a seducing woods vibe from our location. Now that it knows it can't keep our crew here with its desires, it'll do whatever it can to misdirect them, and keep them on the planet. And Dal figuring out that they could use the stars to help navigate their way to the ship was ingenious, but I do have to wonder why the tricorders wouldn't have adapted to the new terrain, but given how cool the idea of a changing planet was, I'll let it go for the time being. Holo-Janeway was also really great in this episode, saying the line, "What would a real Janeway do?" Definitely distinguishing Holo-Janeway from a real Janeway, because they are completely different people, even if Holo-Janeway is based on the real Janeway. There is definitely something up with her, not having any memory of the Protostar engine, seeing Janeway in the captain's chair was a welcome sight though. Like we say, the fact that Holo-Janeway has no knowledge of a Protostar's engine is interesting, as she is essentially on board to train the crew, so you think she would be averse in training potential cadets in the operation of a proto-engine. Perhaps the tech is so classified that Starfleet felt they should not allow the hologram to interact with it. I've said this before and I'll say it again, I'm convinced there is more to the Holo-Janeway than meets the eye. I really would not be surprised if she has some sort of emergency command holo programming, similar to the Doc's ability to take command of the USS Voyager in a crisis. Though, talking of a Protostar engine, we finally get it revealed that the sphere based inside the Protostar's two warp engines is a Protostar, a baby star. I would be very fascinated if the tech that made the gravimetric Protostar containment was originally Romulan tech. It may have been exchanged during the Dominion War. Romulan starships used artificial singularities to power their warp engines, and it seems like here it is even more advanced, with the Protostar enabling proto-warp. Let's just hope they don't go over warp 10 and become lizard beings, we all remember that episode now. This episode of Prodigy also had some very interesting references to other media and Trek as well, with our crew hiding behind a tree from Dreadnought remarkably similar to a Nuzzle scene from Lord of the Rings, which was also very recently referenced in Lower Deck Season 2. Now when the Rev-12, the Diviner's ship, was catching up to the Protostar mid-warp, it very much reminded me of the USS Vengeance catching up to the USS Enterprise in Star Trek Into Darkness. We all know that scene.
Gaining fast.
But with the Protostar finally escaping the clutches of the Diviner, at least for now, and Gwyn finally a member of our crew, it very much feels like the end of Act 1. And what an Act 1 it was. Star Trek Prodigy has hit the ground running, and I'm sure hope that these breaks won't take any momentum out of the show's sails. Honestly, at the end when the Protostar first started escaping, I thought this would be a great moment where Chakotay shows up on board the Voyager to save the day. We still don't fully know how Robert Beltran will appear in the series, but I'm seriously excited for Chakotay's return. For those who may not know, this was the final episode of Prodigy for the time being until January 6th, where we'll get episodes 6 to 10, with episodes 11 to 20 of season 1 of Prodigy coming sometime next year. Hopefully one of these batches of Prodigy will coincide with the release of Paramount Plus in international markets, but there is no news on that yet. If you want to keep up to date with all this info such as that, follow us on social media platforms as well, because we'll be sure to let you know. As usual, do tell us what you thought of Star Trek Prodigy's latest and for the minute final episode down below in the comment section, because as always, if you are talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper my friends, goodbye.